Hey there, I am Veronica. I am so excited to be with you today. Today, we're going to be talking about how to manifest anything you want in 3 days or less, and why this is actually super simple. It's not hard at all. I'm going to be giving you all of the instructions you need to be absolutely successful in manifesting anything you want in 3 days or less. And this could be related to love, to money, to a career change, to your dream car, dream job, dream home, anything. But before we get to that, do subscribe if you haven't already. And I do want to let you know I'm also available for one-on-one coaching, and you can find out all of the details on that at dreamlifebyveronica.com. I do have 2 new amazing courses, Get Someone to Do Anything You Want and Manifestation Accelerator, which I am so proud of and I know you will love. Check all of that out at dreamlifebyveronica.com, and don't forget to get my free course at studywithveronica.com as well. But let's get back to the video. This is all about getting anything you want in 3 days or less. Maybe you're trying to manifest that perfect love relationship where you need a ton of money overnight, or you want to look a certain way. All of these things are absolutely possible, and in 3 days or less, there is no need for it to take a long time. Circumstances don't matter. How long you've already been trying to manifest this doesn't even matter. You are so much more powerful than you realize. Your thoughts, your feelings, assumptions, all of the energy that you're giving out will place a foundation on what you can receive in your tomorrows. Simply alter these just a little bit, and you will find miraculous solutions, amazing manifestations, ways to your desire that you never could have guessed. And yes, in 3 days or less. The energy you're giving out is that powerful. Your awareness, what you are giving out, is that powerful. The feelings, the thoughts, the energy that you are giving out will absolutely dictate what you can receive in life and how fast you can get it. So I want you to get in mind right now exactly what you want. Don't pick what you think is probable to happen in 3 days, but what you actually want. If you could pick, if you had a magic wand, you could pick exactly what you wanted in 3 days. Pick it now. Now we are going to start getting into the feeling of deserving what you have just selected, because you can absolutely have it. It doesn't have to take a year, 2 years. It doesn't even have to take a week. It can take 3 days or less. The very first thing you need to do, and the most important component to this, is stepping out of that desperate energy, that neediness. You need to absolutely stop fixating on the idea of not having the desire. Instead, you're going to create a feeling of having it in your life, basically a feeling of abundance, a feeling of fulfillment, a feeling of relief, of satiation. So we need to step out of the lack. And you can easily do this when you stop trying so hard. Because when you try really, really hard, you create frenzied energy, an energy of anxiety. And none of this implies that you have what you want. When you try, it just implies that you will never get it, that it's continually out of reach. And instead, we want to feel like it is yours, like it's a guarantee. So stop trying to reach for it in desperation. The more you try, the more you create a barrier to receiving your desire. Instead, I'm going to show you how to get it to come to you just like a magnet in 3 days or less. So what you're going to want to do is start becoming very mindful of what you are thinking when this desire comes to mind. So take a moment right now to honestly ask yourself, when my desire comes to mind, and if you want this really badly, I'm going to guarantee it comes to your mind all of the time. What are the first things that you're associating with it? What are your reflex statements? What are your go-to statements about it? What have you been thinking, feeling, and imagining when this desire comes to mind? So are you imagining things like, why hasn't it happened yet? What am I doing wrong? Do I have a blockage? Am I thinking too many negative thoughts? Am I not doing this right? None of these things support the outcome of having your desire, and especially not having it in 3 days or less. All of the things I mentioned are very negative statements, very disempowering statements, all statements that do not suggest a feeling of being in the end result. Now, if you don't have your desire yet, I'm going to guess you've been thinking a lot more of these confused thoughts of why isn't it here? How long is it going to take? What do I have to do to get it? Do I need to create some sort of inspired action? Like, you probably have all of these questions, all of this uncertainty, all of this basically feelings of lack and feelings of not having your desire. Instead, I want you to change your reflex statement, change your go-to statement to something empowering that suggests absolute certainty, that your desire will in fact be yours. Not sort of pretending that it's there already, because if you try to pretend and tell yourself, I already have it, you're going to feel very silly and you're going to feel like you're lying to yourself. And we don't want any of that. Now, again, we're trying to change the reflex statement. Basically, the idea that you think of immediately after your desire comes into mind. And I want it to be something empowering, like maybe it's right around the corner. What if my desire was closer than I realized? Maybe it's a guarantee that I will have this. What if everything changed in the next hour? What if my desire was a guarantee? What if I didn't have to lift another finger to receive my desire? What if it was already rushing towards me? What if it was mine by divine right? What if it was my destiny to have this? Now, the reason why we want to frame it as a what if is so that it feels approachable. It feels different than what we've been thinking about. So it doesn't feel like a lie, as if you're pretending that it's here already and trying to convince yourself of this, because that feels very much like wishful thinking, and that is not going to get you into a feeling of certainty or a feeling of relaxation or a feeling of confidence that what you want exists and that it's coming soon. So we don't want your go-to statement to feel like a lie. We want it to feel very easy, safe, loving, so you feel content, relaxed, at peace, excited about the future. So you want these statements that you say to yourself immediately after your desire comes to mind to be very approachable, very optimistic, very determined. And I like the what if statements because it's just a suggestion of something different that doesn't necessarily feel like a lie, because it's just a suggestion, and you will not have nearly as much resistance. You'll have so much more resistance if you try to convince yourself that your desire is already here, or brainwash yourself into thinking that. It just won't work. Try very approachable things, like maybe my specific person is thinking about me right now. What if I received an unexpected check overnight? Maybe my body just wants to transform into that ideal weight. Or what if I received a job promotion? Maybe my dream car is right around the corner. Don't those things feel very amazing, lovely, gentle, easy? So these statements need to be something that piques your interest, gets you excited and feeling optimistic, and just different, out of that drudgery, out of that struggle. Now, these negative statements like, what am I doing wrong? What more do I need to do? Why does the universe hate me? Like these things you might have been saying for a really long time. So if we can just begin to alter these things, you will see results overnight. And this is why it's possible to get results in 3 days or less, because the universe is swift. It doesn't make you wait. If you can just disrupt the rhythm and suggest something so much more empowering, so much more in line with what you actually want, you will see something happen basically overnight, even instantly. But again, think about something empowering, optimistic, gentle, easy, free-flowing, something that suggests a better outcome. You could even use your lack-based statements as a model for what these positive what-if statements are going to be. And again, your tomorrows are going to be based on the energy you're giving out right now. So choose well. You give out energy by your thoughts, your feelings, your assumptions, your beliefs about the world, what the world can give you, the timing of things, what you think you are worth. You're constantly making judgments about the world around you and what is possible. So we want to start making it feel like what you want is a guarantee in the most gentle way possible. Now, again, your desire is going to come to mind a lot. So I want you to really examine what your go-to statements have been, your reflex statements, and adjust accordingly. I'm not telling you to try to forget about your desire for these next 3 days, because that's not going to do any good. That's just going to create resistance, because you'll be constantly trying to not think about it and trying to forget it, and you won't create a feeling of having, and you won't create a feeling of relaxation and a feeling of contentment as if it's already yours. Again, your desire is coming to mind a lot because it's important to you. This doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but how you think about your desire is what matters. So the first statement you think of immediately after thinking of your desire has to be empowered. It has to be loving. It has to suggest that what you want is guaranteed, that what you want will inevitably be yours. So something empowered, something strong, just suggests the possibility that it's coming, and coming fast, coming in 3 days or less. And ditch your usual go-to statement, which is probably something of confusion, of uncertainty, of what do I need to do? Why am I not good enough for my desire? Things like that. Just ditch those things. Because when we're trying to manifest something and we've been struggling at it for a while, we tend to put ourselves down and consider ourselves doing something wrong. So that negative stuff comes so easily. All you need to do is change your go-to statement. Now, I'm not saying to micromanage your thoughts or try to control your thoughts or try to keep all negativity out of your mind. Instead, just be aware of what you're thinking. Be aware of altering it gently and beautifully towards something that feels like it could actually happen. You're just creating simple awareness, simple mindfulness. You're just creating simple awareness, simple mindfulness towards something better. And once you become mindful, you can begin to reshape your thoughts any way you want. And like I said, use the negative statements as a mold for these positive what ifs, these positive go-to statements. And you will find that they just start naturally flowing because you've stepped out of that desperation. You've stepped out of that neediness. You've stepped out of that attachment. You've stepped out of that lack mentality. So we're giving more thoughts, feelings, and assumptions to what we actually want in the most gentle way possible. So instead of saying something like, I'll never have what I want, or I'll always be single, or I'll never have enough money, or what is wrong with me? Why am I so broken? You could change it to more hopeful and empowering things. Like, what if I was actually doing everything right and just didn't realize it? What if I was perfect just the way I am right now and don't need to lift a single finger to receive what I want? What if what I want was closer than I realized? What if the universe could deliver in such a brilliant way that I never saw it coming and it was more beautiful than I could ever imagine? Now, I know you want this fast. You can absolutely have it in 3 days or less. But remember, the energy you're giving out will shape your tomorrows. So choose well and choose things that feel more approachable, that aren't these huge, bold statements that you're trying to convince yourself of being true, but rather things that are gentle, easy, that disrupt the current rhythm of the negative. So choose wisely, choose bravely, choose something that is so gentle that of course your subconscious will soak it up like a sponge. So no more force. No more trying to will something into being. No more trying. Just settle back, relax, be aware of these statements, make them gentle and empowering, and watch what happens in 3 days or less. Once again, I'm Veronica. Subscribe if you haven't already, and get my one-on-one coaching at dreamlifebyveronica.com. Leave your comments below. I know the success stories will start rolling in.